Mic check, guys. We're using something else to actually record my videos. Since this video is going to be focused on my iPhone 11 Pro Max, we're about 9 months now with this guy. I've been using iOS 14 since it released for the developers about 4 to 6 weeks ago now at this point. And I wanted to show you guys my experience and also kind of show you guys exactly what's been on my home screen and kind of how I touched it up a little bit. So let's hop right into it, guys. So if you guys can see on the top, I have the new calendar widget for iOS 14. One thing that I did notice with the beta 4 was now that these widgets, they used to take a while to even show up on the screen, so it would just be like a black box that's up there in the top. But now with beta 4, it's now refreshing and updating pretty much right when the iPhone turns on, versus before, every single time you unlocked it, I would either go with a blank box up there or it would put me in Cupertino. So now I'm in Bayonne, it's my local area, so it's good to go, right? And that's what's on my home screen. The only widget on my home screen is the actual weather widget, because I look at that every morning, look at it at a glance, because I take my dog out in the morning, and I want to know if it's raining, or if you need to put a sweater on, or a hoodie, or if it's good to go, just wear a t-shirt. So that's the number one thing I glance at every single morning. And then these 12 apps on the home screen are the ones that I use most often, right? So the first one on the top left is the YouTube app. I use that all the time between my actual tech channel. I have a personal YouTube channel also. That just keeps me up to date with what everybody is doing, right? So on the tech related side, I watch as many tech videos as I can just to make sure that I'm on the right track, I'm seeing what other people are doing, I'm learning from everybody else as well. So that's the number one app. I know that I'm a big iOS and iPadOS guy, big Apple guy at heart, but when it comes to software, at least home software, I use Google. I'm a Google user. I don't really like Alexa. Siri is way too expensive to get into and not as good as Google, so I use Google for most of my smart home and navigation services, right? So I'm a big Google Maps user. That's my default Maps application, Google Maps. And then I have Google Home here, which helps me, again, control my entire house. I have a couple of Hue lights, which, I mean, let's see if I can play with this one live right now. I'm using a light right now. I don't know if you guys can tell. The light went off, and now it's turned all the way back on. Boom. So you guys can see that I use a lot of Google Home services, a lot of Nest services, so it's just perfect to have it all in one. And now, even my TVs are now connected to my smart home, which is something that wasn't there before. So that's cool to know. And Google Home is just the ultimate hub for me to control everything really quickly, instead of having to use the Nest application or the Philips Hue application, right? I just use Google for everything. Then you have the camera app. Again, I record 99.9% of my things with this iPhone 11 Pro Max for the YouTube channel, so the camera app is a must, right? I don't use any third-party camera apps. I've used the Filmic Pro one before. I just don't see the need to record something twice over, one from the wide angle, one from the regular angle. So I got rid of that app, so I just use the camera app. And then again, it's a little redundant, but I have the weather app. Twitter is right now my most used social media app that I personally use. You guys can see. Shameless plug, follow me on NanderPrince93. I tweet about tech stuff that's happening in the world, tweet about my videos that are upcoming, ask you guys questions, and I like to collaborate with you guys, because at the end of the day, I like to put out videos that you guys are going to watch and that I would personally watch too. And that's why I'm doing this iPhone one, so it's a little bit different. Get out of that iPad Pro world a little bit, right? And then the next one is my new default email client of choice. It's Spark Mail. I've been an advocate for them for a little while now. You know, they don't pay me, I'm not affiliated with them. I remember I want to say it's a daily text video about a year or two ago, and he mentioned Spark. So I gave it a shot on my iPad, loved the smart features, so I put it on my iPhone and I haven't looked back. I actually deleted the Apple Mail app from all of my iOS devices. So I use Spark on my iPad and my iPhone, guys. And what I like about it is that it separates everything at a glance. So the top category is people, so that's people that are reaching out to you directly that you probably have had interactions with, and it's not a bot or a newsletter. Then you have notifications, which is something that you would probably want to see, but you don't have to really respond to it. So here I have like my YouTube notifications. Whenever I get a package in my locker system, in my apartment, I get a message there. And then you have newsletters, which is basically advertisements, special deals that you get from hotels.com and things like that. So I just like how it's all at a glance and it's broken up for you. And if you don't like that view, you can always go into the normal view and go to individual inboxes. Then I have the App Store, that's self-explanatory. And then down at the bottom, there's been a little bit of a change, right? So I have the messages and phone application, obviously. But about 2 months ago, probably around the time where iPadOS 14 released, I made the switch from Chrome to Safari. And the main reason I did that is because I like Safari as my default browser on the iPad, and I would rather have that be my default browser overall since that's my main computer, and not use Chrome on my iPhone and Safari on my iPad Pro. So I just consolidated everything, moved my password from Chrome to Safari, and so far I'm loving Safari, guys. I used to hate on Safari a lot, but now I really, really like it. Yeah, the extensions aren't great. I have like the Honey extension and it doesn't work as well as it does on the Chrome one, but I'm okay. I don't really use extensions too much. And now let's move on to the second page, right? So the second page, I have a few more widgets, and these are my like secondary apps, the apps that I still use probably on a daily basis, but not as much. So I have my activity tracker because I wear my watch all the time. I don't exercise too much, especially during quarantine, but I do walk my dog a few times a day, so try to get my steps in as much as possible. So on the top left, I have my calendar and my photos app, and then underneath the calendar, I have my YouTube Studio app, which is just a place for me to be able to communicate with you guys on YouTube, get all my statistics at a glance, see how my videos are doing, see what I can improve on. That's a good application to have. I like YouTube Studio on the iPad Pro a little bit better because like the desktop class browser on Safari gives you more insight, but this is great if you're on the go and you just want to see how your videos are doing in real time. Then I have the basic clock app. I just literally set my alarm. Comment below if you guys if your alarm looks like this. Just a bunch of random alarms from like 1 a.m. to like noon in 15-minute increments. Comment below if you guys have that. And then I have a smart stack of widgets. So I have my notes on here, calendar widget, featured photos, direct message for Twitter, and then notes again, guys. So this is my smart stack. So I didn't want to have a ton of widgets everywhere, and I did want to use most of them, so I just stacked them on top of each other to be able to use them at a glance. And then bottom left is my battery widget. I like to be able to see how much battery I have on all my devices at all times. And then next to the battery widget, I have my two favorite games, which is Marvel, Strikeforce. I've mentioned this a million times. I think I have a video on my iPad Pro from like 6 to 9 months ago where I played this game, and I've literally played this game every single day. It's like a handful of times since that day. And I'm very proud that I haven't actually spent any physical money on this game. I'm just being very patient with it, but I love that game. And then I also have Retro Bowl. If you guys are into football games, this is a great like simulation football game. I'm a big NFL guy, so even though the graphics aren't amazing, it's supposed to be like a retro style game. It's just the fact that you can kind of play and move along season in a football game on the iPhone, which is awesome. And then the last two on here is Chime, which is my bank of choice. I did make a video on Chime. I highly recommend Chime if you guys are looking for a new bank account that has zero fees, zero late fees, zero overdraft fees. There's no like maintenance fees. There's no fees whatsoever. I've used them for now going on 3 years, and I love Chime. A lot of you guys have actually signed up for it, so a huge thank you, because every time one of you guys signs up, I get $50 and you guys get $50. So I'll leave Chime below. I always leave it in the description. Chime's a great alternative to a brick and mortar like a Wells Fargo, Bank of America. If you guys want something that's very user friendly, where the UI is awesome and customer service is great, check out Chime if you guys need a new bank account. And then the settings app. And then the last one is just pretty much the stuff that I never use, that's just there when I need to look something up. I rarely use this. I thought about actually hiding this screen, which I can. So if I hold this down, edit the home screen, I can actually click down here and hide it, and it kind of disappears. So then I don't have to like look at it again. It goes straight to the app library. But I decided to actually keep it on there just in case. But for the most part, I don't really know. I know that I have my apps organized by category on here, but I usually forget where they are. So I normally just swipe down and search for whatever I need if it's not on these two main screens. But just to give you a quick little rundown, I have all the Apple, the Apple native applications. I have a folder for my dog, more smart home things, a couple more games, all the food applications, shopping, all the Google Suite applications, YouTube TV, awesome application. And I still have RuneScape here, but I haven't played it in forever, guys. But that is that last screen, and these games and applications I very rarely use. That's why they're back here. And then lastly, you have the new app library, which I think is a cool little touch, something different. What I don't like is when you download an application, it defaults it into the app library, and it doesn't default it onto the last screen. I do wish that they went back to, what they've been doing from iOS 1 to iOS 13, where whenever you download an app, it goes to the next spot on your home screen. I'd rather have it that than go into the app library, so then when it's on here, I could decide to move it to the app library versus looking to fumble around and try to find the app and then move it to the main screen. So that in a nutshell is what's on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. It's been 9 months. I'm gonna give you guys a quick little battery update, just so you guys know if you guys wanna see longevity-wise how it's doing. Battery-wise, battery health, we're at 92% maximum capacity, and I got this pretty much day one when it released. Now I'm just excited for the iPhone 12 to see what Apple has up their sleeve for that. I'm hoping it's something kind of revolutionary. I don't really want another form factor that's exactly the same. I don't want another slab of glass, which is probably what it's gonna be, but give me something a little bit newer, guys, or Apple. But that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know it's a little bit different, mostly on the iPad Pro side on my channel, but wanted to give you guys an idea of what I use my iPhone for. And without my iPhone, I wouldn't have this channel. So big shout out to Apple for making, cameras that work amazingly. Even though, yes, this is like a $1,200 phone, I can grab an iPhone SE and still be good to go and be okay. So use whatever you have around you to start a YouTube channel, people always ask me how I started. It was literally this iPhone filming this iPad, and that's how the channel started. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Maybe you guys got an idea of some of the apps that I use. Like I said, Sparkmail app, I love that mail client. Chime Bank is my favorite bank that I've ever had, and I've gone through Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chime has been wonderful, and they really take care of everybody that signs up for them. And those are some of the recommendations I have for you guys. And try Marvel Strikeforce, the game, if you do want an awesome iPhone game. But that's gonna do for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Comment below some of the apps that you guys use so I can try out on my phone itself. But until next time, guys.